Mm, 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 mm. Guess who's back in the house? Here's click clacking about. Fine fresh feminine style to 11. And I hope that you guys are having an amazing day. I just left the gym. I'm a little pumped up on protein and eggs. That's my after gym workout or food that I take after my workout. And so I can't believe I waited this late to make my follow-up review video for AJ and the Queen. I just finished watching episode 4, and in my previous video, I stated that episode 3 was my favorite, but after watching 4, 4 is now my favorite. Third episode is my second favorite. There are a lot of complicated emotions that we were able to see through Ruby's character, and I really appreciated it. And so I would say the overall kind of like themes for this episode, one that really stood out was resiliency, was a huge theme in this episode. Also, hiding in plain sight was a major theme. Also, how local queens treat traveling queens, and I'll get to that. And also, regret was a theme. And so, in the very first part of the episode, we have Ruby. Oh, and the episode is titled Louisville. Ruby is driving to Louisville, Kentucky for her next gig on her tour, and she's using Google Maps. She receives a call from Damien, and she looks at it, and you can just tell in her eyes that she's overwhelmed with emotion about their previous relationship. And it was well directed. There were a lot of different camera angles that I noticed in this particular scene, so I really appreciated that. It was almost, even the angles were somewhat nostalgic, and so I really appreciated that attention to detail with this opening scene. And AJ is doing narrating, and AJ basically states that because she's a child, people don't know, or adults don't realize that she notices everything. So she has noticed that Damien has called. And so they arrive in the parking lot of the club, and Ruby goes to the restroom to basically stare at her phone and look at Damien's missed calls. And AJ sees and asks, "What are you doing?" And Ruby denies it. And we start off within the episode. We get cameos by some iconic drag queens from Drag Race history. And we have Paris Balenciaga, the legendary Kennedie Davenport of the Dancing Divas of Texas, Jade Jolie, who will forever live in meme history for back rolls comment, and All Stars Season 1 winner, Chad Michaels. And so in the episode, we don't see Chad at first, but we see the other queens, and they have like torn down Ruby's photo from the outside, kind of like bulletin board showing who are all of the queens who are performing. So that kind of lets us know what we're going to walk into. And so in the like dressing room, they're just very catty and shady towards Ruby because Ruby is the quote unquote headliner and they are not. And this is actually pulled from experience of a lot of queens, especially from Drag Race. During interviews, a lot of the drag queens from Drag Race say that they actually need their own separate dressing room from local queens because local queens will often steal their makeup, steal their clothing, steal valuables if they are in the same dressing room. And because they are getting a lot more money than they are, they really don't appreciate that. And so I actually liked this storyline that's inserted into episode 4. And so that was really cool. And so later on, we get a clip of AJ's mother going to the cell phone store to try to get a new cell phone to get in contact with AJ. And one of the discussions that is brought up is that AJ is in foster care. She's really not. Her mother just has no idea where she is. And so the worker asks her, why is your child in foster care? And so AJ's mother, who we learn her name is Brianna, she can't hide from judgment of the public about her being an unfit mother. And so that was really sad to watch because a lot of people go through that as well. And so later on, Ruby admits to Louis that Damien has been following her. And because of that, Louis Cocoa Butter calls the detective that she has been working with, and the detective then sends out a local police officer in Louisville to contact Ruby. The officer says that Ruby needs to alert other drag queens to, put them on alert about Damien and about his ways of manipulating drag queens. And so Ruby is like, I'm not going to do that. Oh, wait for 1 second.